Here in Miami, Florida, it is the site of UFC 314. TJ DeSantis along with Jason Anik live here in Miami. We got the fan experience going on, and these hats are a huge hit, and we're going to give some away.
Tell you what, yeah, a lot of fans creeping back here. Come on, come join us for the broadcast. Everyone just wants a hat. Well, you gotta earn the hat if you want a hat. I think they were giving some away, but we're gonna make them work for it a little bit, I think.
Are you a hat guy?
Could be a hat guy sometimes, but we like rocking the sunglasses. Eyes a little sensitive to light, prefer the sunglasses. What a day, though, here in Miami, huh?
No, absolutely. So we're basically having an on-air production meeting. Should we do trivia with them, or should we make fans, cut a Michael Chandler-type promo on why they deserve a hat?
I like that a lot.
I like that, too.
Maybe they get the choice of a trivia question, or
maybe they do the trivia question. If they get it wrong, then they resort to the promo.
Then they cut the promo, and if the promo's good enough, you get a hat.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, well, fans, you bring yourself back here. Anyone who wants to try and win one of these UFC Fight Pass red hats, come creep, and we will get you on air with a chance to win a hat.
I'm going to send Coiner to do it here. Steve is not paying attention.
He'll get out there eventually.
Yeah, but
I'm talking to a lot of fans here, and we've talked a lot about the betting lines.
Are they all like, "Hi, John. Hey, John. We love you, John."
Those are TJ's lyrics. TJ wrote a very nice rap for me back in the day. But no, talking to a lot of fans, and it's to a man, right? Guys going both ways on the main event, either Diego Lopez or Alexander Volkanovski. But what I do find with some of these fans, because I said we've talked about betting, but forget the betting. A lot of these fans have really vested interest.
Yeah.
They are either Diego Lopez fans or they are Alexander Volkanovski fans. But I will say, most of the young folk like Diego Lopez, right? Most of the guys my age talking more about Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, because there's the sentimentality to it. If you are a Volkanovski fan, Volk represents probably the prime time of your fandom. And nostalgia is a big thing. There's a reason Bruce Buffer's still the Octagon announcer.
No question. I mean? How about Alexandre Pantoja rocking the Dennis Rodman jersey? Shout out the champion.
I noticed that.
Couldn't get him to his vehicle, but what an underrated, impressive champion. Getting himself to conversation, one of the greatest fighters I've seen last 10 years in this promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve.
Oh, you want a fan?
Producer
Come on.
Steve.
These guys trying. That's all right. They got business to attend to. So
he's just staring at the ground.
So I want to talk back about the co-main event, right? And everybody has an opinion. Someone just brought us an opinion. Oh, Paddy Pimblett by submission, right? So are we going to get a fan on here or what?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
All right. So someone just brought our attention. Oh, they like Paddy Pimblett by submission, right?
Mm.
So I don't know. Did you see the video of Paddy Pimblett? He had some beef with some local guy in Liverpool, and he actually went into the guy's gym.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, the guy wanted to fight him, and they fought, and Paddy choked him out and wasn't.
This happens every 5 years in MMA.
But I do absolutely think that is one of the many paths to victory potentially for Paddy the Baddy. I assume you're a jiu-jitsu guy. I assume you believe in his jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, he's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu. I think that Chandler, he presents a lot of opportunities for grapplers like Paddy to, maybe get his back, scramble. I mean, he's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but if we see Paddy make a mistake, I think he's going to capitalize on it relatively quickly.
We got some company, Butch.
Let's go. We're live
brother?
here at the Fan Experience. TJ DeSantis, Jason Anik. What's your name?
Landon.
Landon, how's it going?
Good.
What's up, Landon?
You live locally?
I live in Key West.
Okay, awesome. Is this your first time coming out to a Fan Experience?
Yes.
How old are you?
16.
Oh my God.
How about that?
Do you have a driver's license?
Not yet.
So you like these hats? I assume you're up here because you want one of these hats. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So 16 years old, the trivia could be challenging, but you got one for him? And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
If he can't come through, we'll throw him down the other path.
Let's go with this one. Paddy Pimblett fights out of which English city?
Manchester?
Incorrect.
Circle does not get the square. I believe I uttered that word only a few minutes ago. Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool, home of the Beatles.
So what's his other option?
We can do another trivia question, or you can cut a promo and tell us why you deserve a hat.
I'll do another trivia question.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go right here. Who did Alexander Volkanovski defeat to win the UFC Featherweight Championship for the first time?
Max Holloway.
Good job.
Without hesitation.
Yeah. How long you been a UFC fan?
Since Conor versus Khabib.
Okay, so what was that, 2018?
18?
18, 19? Something
Unbelievable.
Like that?
So yeah, so you were what, 9 years old? Unbelievable.
Do you remember the first time you saw a UFC fight?
Yeah, it was Joseph Benavidez versus Figueiredo.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Like, everybody has their sweet spot of MMA, and I love knowing, like, who was the first guy that got you. Were you, like, a Joby fan?
Who?
Benavidez.
I was a Figueiredo fan.
Okay, all right.
Hard not to be a Figueiredo fan. He talks about everybody has their window because before he was born is probably that window where you are.
Summer of
everything.
2003, 2004 is my sweet spot in MMA.
So who do you like in the main event?
I got Volk.
Yeah? How do you think he gets it done?
Decision.
Okay. Fair.
You like Diego to sort of fade as the fight goes on? We've been
that's
talking a
what I
lot
think's
about
gonna
that. Yeah. When is Diego most dangerous, you think?
The first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I agree with that.
On point.
All right, Landon, appreciate you stopping by.
They'll
you.
give you a hat on your way out. Good to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, let's try to get another fan up here.
I'm telling you, the young folks, like, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I think we saw during COVID, too, when the UFC was the only sport running. A lot of people that were maybe casually aware of the UFC, they went all in, and more so in MMA, and I think it becomes, sort of a betting game. But I think people are very much invested in a way that they're not necessarily in other traditional stick and ball sports like they are the UFC.
Yeah, I agree, and it was the only game in town at that point. But, yeah, you can't understate the gambling component of this, being able to get a little action during the week. What is up, man?
Hey, Jason Anik.
What's going on?
Nice to meet you guys.
How are you? What's your name?
Let's see.
What's up, man? What's your name?
Herman.
Herman. Nice to meet you, Herman. You're wearing the Noche shirt. Were you at Noche?
I was in Vegas
Wow.
at Noche, yeah.
The greatest night of my life. Your thoughts on Noche?
Likewise. Greatest night of my life as well. It was nice seeing Marab take the win. I'm a big Marab fan.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm like Sean O'Malley from that standpoint that Sean said before the fight, it was all about the event. It wasn't even about me, the champion.
Yeah.
It was more about the event. And for me, it was more about the event. So he's wearing a New York Knickerbockers hat. I'm a Bostonian. I'd be lying to say if I love that, but so are you from New York?
Yeah, originally from New York. I live in Chicago now, but
Okay. So do you support the welterweight champion, Bilal Muhammad from
I
Chicago?
do. I met him back at a PFL event. PFL 2 when Kayla Harrison made her MMA debut.
Wow.
He was in the stands, and I've always liked Bilal. Yeah, I live in the suburbs just like he does. Yeah.
All right.
Are you getting on a
Yeah.
flight often to go watch the UFC every year?
Yeah, I go probably once or twice a year.
Nice.
I mean, I'm waiting for him to go back to Chicago. Like, it's been pre-COVID since then. But
Yeah.
Dana.
What was it about this card that got you out to Miami for it?
My brother-in-law lives here, and my parents live in Florida, so
Okay.
I come here like once or twice a year.
So you're not 16 years old, I take it, like our last guest, right? So
Right.
maybe there's a little more historical perspective. But you got a trivia question. I assume you like these red hats like everybody else.
Of course.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get you a trivia question here. Which athlete on the UFC main card has won a fight by Twister?
Bryce Mitchell. Yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know.
All right, give him another one.
Okay, here we go. Which fighter on the UFC 314 main card is a former light heavyweight title challenger who once defeated Chris Weidman by knockout?
Oh, Dom Reyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dom
Tell you
Reyes,
what.
yeah.
You're dialed in.
Yeah, right? You gotta save one for the rest of them. So, main event. Who do you like? Who you rooting for?
I mean, Volk. I'm definitely Team Volk. I think Lopez is great. He's had a great run. If he gets him out early, Lopez can definitely get him out early. But
It's jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a focal point for him, but we will see what happens. Herman, appreciate you stopping by and enjoy the UFC.
Before you get him out of here, I mean,
Yeah.
how much do you believe in the New York Knicks as the postseason is emerging?
I mean, we're going to be a 3 seed. I think we'll make a run.
I don't sense
I'm
great
hopeful,
confidence.
but I'm hopeful. It's been a while. It's been since before I was born that we won a championship. So,
Well, we appreciate you, brother. Go get yourself a lid.
thank you.
Herman,
Ladies
stopping
and
by here
gentlemen, Herman.
at the Fan Experience here live in Miami. We are giving away some sweet UFC hats. And
He gets a hat. Circle gets a square. Yep.
They've been trying to get these hats off us all day as
Steve
well.
Coyne, our boss, is not in the business of handing these things out like candy. Like that guy got 2 questions out of 2 right, and Coyne's like, "Are you sure?"
Right.
I mean, I don't know what Coyner's looking for.
I mean, he wants them to earn it.
Yeah,
you know?
I get it.
And I appreciate that. Like I said, people have been trying to get these hats off us since we basically got to town.
All right, we got another guy coming up. Caffeine and Kilos says the shirt. Now we got a little girth on the set, given your 65-pound weight loss.
Right.
We got a little heat. Here you go, buddy.
I wonder how many kilos I weigh.
This guy would smash you.
Absolutely.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
What's your name?
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
TJ DeSantis.
Nice to meet you, TJ.
So what's it like meeting a legend like TJ DeSantis?
It's great. I hear he works on a lot on production, so every time that I hear your brother's podcast and yours, I hear his name come up.
Oh, he was the original producer of the
there you go.
Anik podcast back in the day.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. Good to have you up here.
Yeah, thank you.
My stock has gone down ever since then, unfortunately.
Well, I've said this over and over again. He's sick of it, but his dad was going to name him Butch. If his name was Butch DeSantis, we all know he'd be a big star.
That's
but
hilarious.
Probably
I digress.
a number by my name, if we're being honest.
Yeah, right?
No.
Exactly.
No.
So how old are you?
32.
How long you been watching UFC?
Since 2005.
Okay.
Wow,
Nate
that's a
Diaz.
long time.
Yeah.
You strike me as the guy that remembers a lot of these fights and what you've seen.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, it depends.
All right. Throw something at him. See what he's got. I
Okay.
assume you like these hats like everybody
I love
else.
them.
So give him an opportunity.
Do you want a trivia question relating to this card, or do you want maybe an old school trivia question?
Let's do an old school. Let's test it.
All right, I got to
And
get
at
one
some
first.
point, someone's going to have to cut a promo.
Okay.
See you at the top.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Actually,
yeah, we got
see
to
on
do
that,
it.
I got Michael to sign my shirt right here, so there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back at the Sphere event. Yeah,
All
we were
right.
out there, so that was pretty cool.
Did he comment on the front of your shirt like I did?
He loved it. Yeah, he loved it.
All right, it's generating. Here we go.
All right.
This is hard.
Okay.
Before selling to Zuffa,
Okay.
the UFC was owned by a company called SEG.
Okay.
What did SEG stand for?
Ooh, that's gonna be a hard one. I don't think I'm gonna get that one, to be honest.
Oh, man. I don't. Would you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you working production back then?
No.
All right, so let's say the G is for group.
Yep.
All right, we got the G. I don't know it either. SEG?
What do you think the E stands for?
Entertainment.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to kill myself for not knowing this.
I don't even know what this word means.
Oh, all right, then I definitely don't know it.
Yeah. No, don't know. So
That's all right.
Semaphore.
Semaphore.
Semaphore Entertainment Group.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was going to be one of those where I was like, but no idea.
Right.
I mean, should we make the guy cut a promo, or you want to give him a more
let's give him
reasonable
one more.
question? That
One
wasn't
more.
very legitimate.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you didn't go old school. You went just like illegitimate.
yeah. This one's wrong. You just gave me a wrong question.
Now I want to hear it.
Which fighter was famously nicknamed the Beast and competed in UFC 10 and 11, winning both tournaments? It says it's Mark Kerr. That's not the answer. So,
Not Mark.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's ask you another old school or new
Let's
school?
go on for this card.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this card. This card is loaded.
Go with a 314 question. What martial arts base does Alexander Volkanovski credit as his foundation before transitioning to MMA? It's kind of a trick question because I won't consider this a martial art, but I have heard him refer to it as martial art.
Not rugby.
Okay, now
Right?
rugby.
It is.
It is rugby.
It
Yeah,
is
because he was
rugby.
playing rugby for so long.
I was
but-
like joking. Sorry.
There you go.
That's okay.
I ruined that for you. I was just
okay.
making a joke.
We got more.
All right. What else?
Let's see here. Which submission did Bryce Mitchell use to earn his first finish in the UFC?
I know he's famous for the twister.
Was that his first submission?
I'm gonna go with yes.
No.
No.
If you get it right, maybe we'll still give you a hat, or you got to cut a promo.
Okay. Let's see.
I feel like he could cut a promo.
I think you definitely can cut a promo.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do. Yes.
Rodrigo, I figured you do. Are we
Yeah.
going to cut the promo in English or Spanish? Because I'm starting to lose a little bit of confidence
Nah,
in your
let's do
ability
it
to
in
get the
Spanish.
question right.
Let's do it in
yeah?
Spanish. I'm gonna guess guillotine, but I don't think it was guillotine.
Arm triangle.
Arm triangle.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Right. I was going to say like arm. I was going to say triangle or arm triangle, something because you knew it wasn't going to be.
I was thinking triangle, but like now that I think about it, like he does, like when I saw him trying to defend against Ilya, like he was doing a great job. So I was like, but I don't think. guillotine's like always going to be my go-to.
Yeah,
so,
I hear you.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to rely on your mic skills and promo efforts to get a hat.
right.
You can say whatever you want, but I think, the promo should be maybe why you deserve a hat.
Okay. So we just go off?
Yeah, go.
Yes, go off, baby.
So if you want to be a UFC fan and you want to be able to get up here and come get a hat, meet these great commentators here, you want to be able to make sure that you show the passion for the sport, come down here, come support the fighters, get yourself a drink, get yourself pictures with the fans, get the merch, support the fighters, and make sure that you tune in tonight for UFC 314.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rodrigo, he's a promoter. Coiner, I think Circle gets a square.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to meet you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you. Thank you, sir.
Rodrigo, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we roll on here live at the UFC Fan Experience. I have not walked around a little bit. Have you?
Yeah, well, no, I walked to get here a little bit. No,
Yeah.
I mean, we walked, get a good drink, but I tell you, I like asking the fans who they pick in the fight or
Yeah.
who they want to win the fight, because oftentimes I don't know. This fight card is unique to me, where I really don't have a good sense, and I don't like to have to pick. Right? I put you on the spot more than you put me on the spot, but I like putting the fans on the spot because I do feel like oftentimes UFC fans really do have rooting interest.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't know. For me, oftentimes, maybe it's because of my connection to the sport, but I'm not necessarily rooting for one guy.
Right.
Oftentimes,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. You're too
What's
close.
happening, man?
How you doing, gentlemen?
What's your name?
Jorge Medina.
I like it. Let's throw that on you. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Welcome. What's your name?
Jorge Medina.
Jorge Medina.
First
Bienvenidos,
UFC?
Miami. Jorge Medina. I love it.
Have you been to UFC before?
I've been to like 7 live events.
Oh, wow.
I saw McGregor unify the titles lightweight, or when he moved from 145 to 155 in Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
I saw him fight the guy he had the trilogy with, Nate,
What,
Nate
Diaz?
Diaz?
the Diaz brothers, number 2 in Las Vegas. I've been to I saw the knockout in the last round of the welterweight fight in Salt Lake City.
Well, Usman, you were there for that.
Usman was killing him for 4.5 rounds, and then,
And then Leon Edwards, bang.
bang.
So you got the Miami fight kit here. You know
Yep.
what's interesting about that Usman-Leon Edwards fight, right?
Yeah.
So I live in South Florida. My brother John Anik's commentated for the UFC. So during that fight, right? Mm-hmm. I'm embarrassed to admit this on television, but I fell asleep in the 4th round, right? Because it's on at, it's 1 in the morning or whatever
Right.
it is. And if you recall, I'm sure you do because you were in the building, Usman was dominating, right? So I wake
Everybody
up
was leaving.
and Leon Edwards is on a microphone, and I rewound to see what was just what a
Everybody
moment
was
to be in the
leaving.
building for, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here's my son. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday,
20th
brother!
birthday. My wife. We were in the building. Everybody was leaving. We're like, we can't leave. We can't leave. Wham! There it is.
So did you get your son into the sport, or did he get you into the sport?
I've been watching the UFC since 1993, when the
Wow.
UFC had no rules. When Royce Gracie won, what did he win? 3 or 4
UFC
in a row.
won? Yeah.
4 in a row, no rules. I was eye gouging, no biting, and no fish hooking. That was it. No rounds, nothing.
Yeah.
You want an old school trivia question for the opportunity to win a hat?
Let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right, give me an old school question.
Old school question for an old man.
It's populating. Here we go. Who was the first fighter to ever wear gloves in the UFC?
That's hard. It's got to be UFC 1.
No.
Holy.
Art Jimerson did wear one glove at UFC 1.
First fighter to wear gloves. I
You
didn't even.
knew that
Yeah.
about Jimerson, just
Yeah.
that he wore one?
Yeah.
But that doesn't count.
It's iconic. But that doesn't count. No.
Can you give me what weight class?
Heavyweight. His first name is David, but he's more famously known by his nickname. Out of Huntington Beach, California.
Oh, Tito.
Nope.
That bad boy.
No, that's Jacob Ortiz. Nope. He actually is responsible for getting Tito into the sport. Had a big goatee.
I know you're talking about. He turned into a coach.
Nope.
No?
Military vehicle is his nickname. Got a long cannon on it.
You know it?
I think I got it.
Yeah,
Tank
Abbott. Yeah, Tank Abbott.
Tank Abbott. He wore gloves?
Yep. Harbingers that he cut grips out of, and yeah.
I remember he used to wear big knee braces too.
So when you come to an event like this, and you've gone to these events for a long time, well, let me ask you before, are you a gambling man? Do you bet on these events? Not really. I can tell by the look in your face.
I do and I don't.
Okay,
When I used to go to Vegas, I used to put money on it all the time, and then I got away from it.
An event like this, right? Do you have strong rooting interest in either the co-main or main event, or are you just looking for great action, or you support certain fighters more than other fighters? What do you want to see in the last two fights of the night tonight?
Well, my favorite fighter, unfortunately, is not fighting tonight. That's Charles Oliveira. I love Charles Oliveira.
Hard not to.
I used to dislike him when he was one of the competitors against McGregor. I was a McGregor fanatic. But when McGregor left, Charles Oliveira embodies for me everything that I want to see in the sport. Tremendous skills, killer instinct. He's got the whole 9 yards, right? Tonight, I want to see a passing of the guard. I want to see Diego Lopez. I love his style, right? That killer instinct, that Mexican, although he's Brazilian, but he's adopted Mexican, right? I love the way he goes at it. The co-main.
Before you get to the co-main, and I hear you, and the passing of the guard is very appealing to me as well. Do you expect Diego's going to get it done?
Do I?
Right, I know who you want to win now.
Yeah.
But who do you think? Right? Are you a lot? You know, people both sides of it.
I have a sinking suspicion that Volkanovski's kind of done. He's coming off of 2 devastating knockouts. If he wins, watch out. I mean,
I hear that. And we said earlier, though, wouldn't shock me if Volk wins and takes off ride off into the sunset necessarily, right? The idea that he's going to lose and ride off into the sunset after 3 losses, I don't think so. Co-main event, talk to me.
Remind me of the co-main event again.
Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler.
Oh, come on. So, Michael Chandler I watched Charles Oliveira beat Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira, where everybody thought he was out. He was on the floor, dodging. Second round comes out, 17 seconds, it was out, right? Chandler is relentless, and he's got this, first of all, he's like a gorilla strength. When Oliveira gets you in a rear naked choke and you don't go out, he powered out of it with not even with like a technical move, just pure power.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Paddy. I think Paddy's got the size. I think Paddy's got. I think he's got the skills.
I do too.
I think he's got the ground game. And, Chandler, his popularity is actually, he shouldn't be as popular as he is.
Name one of the first 2 winners of season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, come on. It's,
See, he says, "Oh, come on," because it's easy. I'd be like, "Oh, come on," I have no idea.
Oh, come on! He's the Toyo Tires ambassador. He's one of the ambassadors to the UFC. I can see his face.
I can see his face.
There are a lot of trees
Is he a good-looking cat? I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Dana White says this is what changed the sport, right?
Correct.
That fight. They ended up both getting the bonus at the end. I can't remember. What was his name?
He's giving you a hint.
What is it?
Forrest Griffin.
No. Griffin. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. Sorry.
It's all right.
You want another one? I'm trying to help you out. Hey, it's your son's birthday. We're trying to get him the hat, to be honest with you. Give me another one.
I bombed 2 already.
It's tough. It's tough to be put on the spot.
Yeah.
You know
yourself.
All right, here we go. Populating. Who knocked out Rashad Evans to win the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship at UFC 98? Welcome to the blank era.
Was it at the Prudential Center in New Jersey?
I don't know.
He's got the location for you.
Well, Johnny Bones Jones beat Shogun Hua at the Prudential Center for the lightweight championship, and they were friends at one point, Rashad Evans and John Jones.
But who took the title off of Rashad?
Who took the title off of Rashad? Wasn't that Rampage Jackson?
Incorrect.
I'm retiring. That's it.
Hey, good to meet you.
Leona Machida.
Enjoy the fights. Good to meet
Hey, I
you.
appreciate you, gentlemen.
Awesome, thank you. Jorge stopping by here at the Fan Experience. I think we're gonna give him a hat. It's his son's birthday. We gotta do the right thing. There we go. I got
Yeah,
a
just
hat.
make sure the hat ends up on the son's head. We could have put the son on the spot, though.
Yeah, I mean, are you a trivia guy?
No, I mean with certain sports,
Like-
but as you get older, you realize that like some of history becomes when you were in your 20s and 30s,
100%.
and it's not
Yeah.
so much.
I mean, it's all about how your brain files the information away.
but I'm not a historian of this sport. I mean, my brother started calling events for the UFC. I want to say in 2010. I'd be lying to you if
In Nashville.
If a lot of it was that his first fight
Yeah.
in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, when you think back. And we watched some of those, and some of them he just has high pitched voice. What's up, brother? That's a shirt I like right there. That's pretty fresh. Custom made. That's
There
what's
we
up.
go.
I like the
Yeah.
shirt. What's your name, man?
Dominic.
Dominic.
Yeah.
Dude, you have a little Dominic Reyes girth to you too, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he just
Where
like
are you from?
Down here, like Broward,
Cool.
so 45 minutes.
you
north.
have huge hands.
Yeah, it's good.
Like I felt like I was getting like swallowed up there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, another guy that would just absolutely smash you. TJ.
Absolutely. I mean, first time at a UFC?
Yeah, it's my first ever event. Yeah.
So you've never been to an event,
No.
and you will be in the building tonight.
Yep.
Enjoy
Yeah.
this anticipation
Oh,
because
yeah.
my brother John says all the time, there's 15 Super Bowls a year, the Super Bowl and the 14 UFC pay-per-views. I'm telling you, there's nothing quite like being in that building.
Oh, yeah.
Teenage wasteland. You're getting me fired up, about to make the walk myself.
That's the best part of any pay-per-view fight night is the is it the Guess Who or the Who?
Yeah,
Teenage
yeah, the
Wasteland,
Who, yeah.
Baba O'Reilly. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most? What fight stands out as the one to watch?
I think Volk and Lopez. It's the main event. Volk's got a lot on line. He might retire after this if he loses. And Diego's very dangerous. He could catch him any second of the fight. So
We
I'm very excited for that.
You mentioned Volk retiring if he loses, and I have no inside information whatsoever. I mean, we've talked about this earlier. I really think I don't see any scenario where Alexander Volkanovski, after 3 straight losses, just wraps it up.
Right.
I think it's more likely if he wins to perhaps go away.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily saying, I understand that this belt was vacated by Ilia Topuria, so the idea that Volk would win it and then immediately vacate it, right, and retire, I don't know. But I do not think that Volkanovski is going to go out on 3 losses. I just don't.
Yeah, how do you think it ends?
I think Volk's going to win by decision. I want him to. And he looks in great shape. He's got some good time off, get that brain and chin rested. And I think it will be kind of like the Ilya fight at the beginning. Volk will establish that jab, establish those kicks, win the first round. But I think Diego's going to pick it up in the second and third, try to initiate that clinch because that's where he's very dangerous. And he has the advantage because Volk's a shorter guy in the clinch. If he tries to separate, his chin might be up in the air. But I think if Volk could weather that storm in the second and third rounds, he's got it in the bag.
Yeah.
Will we see the chin tested of Volkanovski? Then?
Definitely. I think
Yeah.
it'll be very hard to escape Diego for 5 rounds, 25 minutes, making 0 mistakes. But I think he'll be tested, but I think he's got it. I think Volk's got it.
I think the chin resting is the most important thing to be rested for Volk, taking off more than a year here.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, man, I feel like sometimes I'm on an island a little bit with Diego Lopez's cardio, where at times I feel like it's been less than desirable, and I really
Yeah.
believe that is really maybe one of the only ways for Volkanovski is to sort of get Diego into a place where his maybe system won't allow him
Yeah.
to be as powerful.
Yeah, I mean, people that are picking Volkanovski, they seem to be most confident with the path to victory being a decision. But
So will you be in there for the first prelim?
Oh, yeah. I watch most cards, especially since I started watching at 285. And just from 285 to like 300, I'd only watch like the main card. And then I remember for 300, I sat on my couch for 8 hours. I was like, I could do this more often.
Yeah, this guy's like, I'll watch the prelim for UFC 300 because it opens with Cody Garbrandt
right.
and Davison Figueiredo. That's fine.
you want a trivia question to try to win a hat?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's see here.
Do you train, by the way?
No, I'm a basketball player.
Yeah,
But I just follow MMA. I love MMA. I love watching it, love following it, love learning about it. Especially being here, I've met a bunch of fighters. I met Aljo, Marab, the Fighting Nerds, Masvidal, Tuivasa, Pantoja today, and they're all very humble. Even though they're the best of the best, they still have that humility and make conversations, crack jokes, all that. So it
Absolutely.
made me fall in love with it even more.
I love it.
All right, who was the first ever simultaneous double champion in UFC history?
McGregor.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good job. That was kind of easy.
No, I thought it might be a trick question, though. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Give him another one. He got a hat anyway.
Get another one.
He's going to fuck someone up if we don't give him a hat. So
It's true.
Get him a hat.
All right, one more here. Who handed Israel Adesanya his first MMA loss and then took the UFC middleweight championship at UFC 281?
So his first MMA loss was to Blachowicz, and then
Yeah, this is wrong. See, ChatGPT's doing me dirty.
Hey,
Who
you're not
beat
a
it?
ChatGPT guy.
No, I'm not. Who beat him at UFC 281?
Pereira.
There
That was
you
his
go.
first middleweight loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Couple of cupcakes here.
Let's step it up a little bit harder. Give
Jeez.
me a harder one.
I mean, he's going to get a hat, but try and stump him. I don't want to ask him to cut a promo, even though he probably could.
Yeah. I got another one here. Here we go. Who did Arman Saryukian make his UFC debut against in a fight many consider one of the most competitive debuts ever?
It was Islam, right?
Correct.
Another cupcake.
Yeah.
Another
let's go.
cupcake.
Let's go harder.
All right, harder. Really hard. Let's see.
You got plenty in your head.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'll give you one. My guy, Bilal Muhammad. Who's his last loss to?
Did Jeff Neal?
Good job. And if you go watch that fight, anyone, right? Bilal going to kill me, doesn't like me talking about it. Go see how tough Bilal was not getting finished in that fight. And Jeff Neal's still one of the greatest when he's can make
For
the
sure.
walk.
Yeah, when he's on top of it, those hands of steel right there.
See, and the fact that you remember that, right? That predates UFC 285. So did you go back? How do you know that? Like, do you go back and watch that, or you just know it because you're just
I like doing my research. I like learning about it, whether it's learning about the fighters, learning about like previous storylines and stuff like that, learning like the little technicalities in the fight. Because I like to be very technical when I'm watching the fight, like kind of score the rounds a little bit, know what they're trying to do, so I'm not just like watching. So especially on the ground, because it's very complicated when it comes to the grappling and stuff like that. So I like to know the different positions, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to get out of it. So I like learning about a lot of it.
All right, I'm going to name 3 submissions. You're going to tell me which submission has never been pulled off in the UFC's octagon. You ready?
Yeah.
Option 1, the Sulawev stretch. Option 2, the Peruvian necktie. Option 3, the buggy choke.
Ooh. I think 3.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's never been a buggy choke
really.
in the UFC.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've heard of the first 2 before. That was a tougher one.
I feel like someone maybe had attempted a buggy choke.
Yeah,
I feel
someone
like they're
did go
that's
for
in
a
my
buggy.
brain for a minute. But.
Let's see here. Who went for the buggy? How do you say that name?
Oh, Mateusz Hombeki? It's
You're
not
sure?
an R, but something like that.
All right. Yeah, that's the guy who
That
went
was
for a buggy.
Hombeki or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot. Well, I
No
think
worries.
dude definitely earns a hat. Good stuff, brother. Enjoy
Appreciate
it,
it.
man. Take
Yeah,
it all
thanks
in.
for stopping by.
Take
Take a
it all
selfie real
in,
quick.
man.
Yeah.
What's up?
Selfie real
Yes,
quick.
brother. Let's do it.
You can do whatever you want. We're terrified
At
of you.
UFC Fight Pass, baby. Good
Thank you,
shit,
guys.
brother. You too.
I appreciate it.
Grab yourself a red lid.
All right. Rolling on here live from the UFC Fan Experience, TJ DeSantis along with Jason Anik. What's your night looking like? Like, when are you going to roll into the building?
Full of gratitude with my night. I'm going to cruise back over to the hotel, head over there with my brother, watch him get made up, and then just, pencil myself in right in the seat behind him.
Well, what is John like on event day?
So I've said this a lot before, his anxiety, he says his anxiety is all in the preparation. So Friday night, typically, there's a lot going on, a lot of writing, a lot of things going on. But once he sort of gets to midnight Friday night, he's good and really just sort of calm on show day and quiet, little exercise, a
Saving
little bit
it.
of food. Exactly. Yeah. What is up, brother?
Throw those cans on if you don't mind.
I like the shirt.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Fighting Nerds all done up there. What's your name?
My name is Jesus.
Jesus.
Yep.
How's it going?
I'm doing all right.
You enjoying the fan experience?
Yeah, I got out here earlier, but the Gaethje line was like crazy, so I just went to go get hibachi instead.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. What else have you done here? Have you seen any of the pop-up little booths and stuff?
Yeah, we were at the Full Violence yesterday with the pop-up. We saw Lorosenko, Kaio, Mauricio, Taito Iwaso, Masvidal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I like about UFC event week is obviously there's IFW, middle of the summer, but when you're able to pull off a fan experience like this, you are able to get much more of an experience than just going to the event, and I think these are sort of a must-see visit for any UFC fan.
Well, and you can probably tell, it juices me up to sit next to and talk to fans. My brother said all the time, nothing like talking to the fans. but we're here to try and give you a hat or try to have you win a hat. So TJ's going to put you on the spot. How long have you been watching the sport?
I've been watching the sport for about 10 years, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think he knows his stuff.
All right, I'm going to ask it to give me a question from 2015.
Alrighty. Fingers crossed. Make it easy, please.
2015.
All right, here we go. Who defeated Anthony Pettis at UFC 185 to win the UFC Lightweight Championship in a dominant upset performance?
Was that RDA?
Correct. Nicely done.
Yeah, very nice.
That was very good. I thought that was actually kind of a tough one. You knocked it out of the park.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. I feel like we should give him another one.
Yeah, definitely give him another one.
You want another one from the same era?
Yeah, shoot, whatever.
All right, here we go. Populating. Who became the first woman to defeat Ronda Rousey in MMA, doing so by head kick at UFC 193?
That was Holly Holm in Australia.
Yep, very good job. That's easy.
Yeah, but
Low-hanging
no,
fruit.
it's all right, though. He's on top of it.
Yeah.
I say I watch your guys' show all the time and you got Bilal Muhammad on there. Hell yeah.
Welterweight champion of the world, baby. That's good stuff. Appreciate you. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good to meet you, man.
Appreciate it.
Another person hooked up with one of these awesome UFC Fight Pass red hats. We could be selling these online.
I
and
tell
I
you
don't
what.
think we keep them in stock.
Yeah, I don't know if we're in the making money business here today, but we see some fighters showing up here. Rude boy Randy Brown is here. Kayla Harrison here. Should be fun. There he is, my guy, Randy Brown. We're having fun here, UFC Fight Pass.
Does John just not talk after a broadcast?
Oh, no, he talks.
Yeah?
He got a
Because,
lot
like,
to say
for
after
me,
broadcast.
I'm just done talking.
Well, we got a lot, he has a lot to say after the broadcast. We talk about this business where everyone, it's all about, like, creating content, right? We talk often about throwing a camera on because, it's tough to shut down after some of these fights.
Oh, absolutely. I can't fall asleep.
And I talk about, obviously, falling asleep on my couch at 1 in the morning of our pay-per-view.
That's
when you
different.
are in that building, it is tough to come down, you can be sure. So, no, we'll be inevitably up till 4 or 5 a.m., just how it goes. So, no, it'll be a lot to talk about. And I'm just curious, this fight card to me, we talked about it earlier, how the main event, most of these fights are pretty close on paper. I think it's going to be one of those nights where we see some surprises.
Yeah, what do you think is the most likely to have an upset sort of win from the main card?
Great question. If forced to answer it, I think Bryce Mitchell is sort of a little bit live under the radar here. I think he has a lot of experience, and I think perhaps he can get this fight where he wants it to be. How are you, man? Good, how are you? What's going on, man?
Good.
What's your name?
Damien.
Damien. Welcome. Good to meet you.
How old are
brother.
you, Damien?
15.
15. How long you been a mixed martial arts fan?
About like 4 years now.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Justin Gaethje or Dan Hooker or Volkanovski.
Nice. What do you think about Volk's chances tonight in our main event?
I think he has good chances if he brings Lopez in the deep water.
Yeah, and I really think that's the key. I think it's bringing him into deep water. And, it's funny you mentioned Gaethje and Hooker right out of the gate. We have this narrative of your favorite fighter's favorite fighter.
Yeah.
But, my daughter's 11, right? You start watching the sport at 11. You can be sure it's on in my house. So a lot of these young fans know more about the sport than I expect. So is it something where you've, gone back on UFC Fight Pass and watch fights that you haven't seen? Because obviously there's a lot there that happened before you even were alive.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of old fights. Probably going back to 2012. I watched a bunch of those fights to now, and I really enjoy the UFC and I love it, man. I feel like getting here one day, it would be my dream.
Yeah, well, getting here meaning competing? Are you trained?
I mean, yeah, I train. Over summer, I was doing Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and I did Taekwondo for 3 years, won a couple championships. And,
good for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And also, I'm gonna try to get back to training, but with school, it's just been a little rough because wake up at 6 and then training around 6 to 9 at night. So.
Wow. Do you live here in Florida?
Yes, I live here in Florida.
I mean, what better place to grow up and try to go to one of these stacked gyms and
exactly. Yeah, it'd be amazing. But thank you for letting everyone come up here. It's really awesome.
Of course.
All right, we're going to give you the opportunity to win a sweet red hat from UFC Fight Pass.
Okay.
Here's the question. Who won the BMF title at UFC 300 after knocking out Justin Gaethje?
That's easy. That's too easy, man. Max Holloway.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Should go a little bit harder?
A little bit harder.
Who fought for the first ever BMF title?
Gamebred Masvidal and Nate Diaz.
What'd you say?
Nate Diaz.
Oh, I
and
thought you
Jorge.
said Nick.
No,
So-
no
Yeah,
hesitation.
very good.
That's what
Very
amazes
good.
me. I'd at least hesitate for a minute. You don't even need to think about it.
I feel like we should give him one more.
All right, one more. That'd be awesome.
One more.
You going chat GTP or going to
Oh,
go from,
yeah, I'm
from
just
your
going
brain?
ChatGPT. All right, at UFC 298, who earned a title shot by defeating Brian Ortega via TKO in the co-main event?
298.
Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Hold on. That was
Well,
February
you just
last
said
year.
earned a title shot.
Yeah, that's not right.
Didn't
Yeah.
earn a title shot.
No.
That is incorrect.
No.
I was about to say that
All right,
question's
we're
kinda
going to
weird.
forget ChatGPT, and I'll
Yeah.
just give you a question off
Off the
top of my
dome.
head.
Off the dome, man.
Let's go. What was the main event at UFC 300?
Oh, that's easy. Pereira versus Hill.
Yeah, that was easy.
It comes quick though, man. And I talk a lot about these different memories, right? Where I tell you, someday we got to get Bilal Muhammad up here, and you can just go nuts and ask him questions because. But for me, tracing back, like even some of the guys say, "Oh, I've been watching since UFC 285," right? I bet you that dude who said he's been starting since 285 could name main events for all
for
these
sure.
fights. That's how you are.
Pick a number 40 through 60.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Pick a number 40 through 60.
UFC 51.
51 was called UFC Super Saturday. It featured Randy Couture versus Vitor Belfort.
That's
Rematch.
insane.
Yeah, that's
Who
crazy.
won?
Couture won the rematch, I believe.
So for you, Conor McGregor barely has fought in the time that you have been a fan.
Yeah, no. I started watching like 2021. Like my first live card I watched was it was McGregor versus Poirier 3. And ever since then I was like, dude, the UFC is really awesome, and I've just been following it ever since,
Yeah, I mean, for those of us like me who grew up on other sports, football, basketball, baseball, it has just arrived in a way that is really tough to describe to people that don't watch this sport. I think as time goes on, it is more and more becoming sort of that fifth major sport. And I hate to say it, not necessarily MMA, but the UFC.
No, absolutely. Yeah, the brand has never been stronger. Let me ask you a question. What does UFC stand for?
Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Good. Sometimes they pluralize the championships. You know what I mean?
So
I'm trying to get him out of
I get you.
technicality.
No, I think he's earned a hat.
Yeah, no, you definitely deserve the hat. Well, thanks for coming out, man.
Well,
Good to
thank
meet you, brother.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck with your fighting career, too.
Thank you.
That'd be awesome if we have him back on the show one
Nice
day.
to meet
He's
you.
fighting.
That would be awesome. And John Anik, is he later?
Yeah,
he
he
gonna
is
commentate?
later. He will be in the building. You
Awesome.
can be sure.
Yeah, you and him. I know you guys are twins, right?
We are.
But how you got hair and he doesn't?
He's got it. He just doesn't want it.
It's a
okay.
choice,
Shaving it,
which
he's
is
been-
really offensive
he's
to
been
me.
shaving it since he was your age.
For real.
Maybe
Like
lets
bald,
it creep.
bald shaven?
Pretty close, but you can
Yeah.
be sure he could do this, and he's got a perfectly straight hairline, which I
Yeah.
don't have. But no, he's not bald at all. He's got
Yeah.
it.
It pisses me off that he makes that choice. I mean, he's
No.
blessed. He should rock it.
Let it flow.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Dude, I get told I'm kind of receding at 15. It's rough. I feel like you gotta have the hair as long as you can.
Yeah, I tell my daughters though, everybody got something, right? I got white hair, so it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
You may gotta shave your head, so it's all good, man. We all got something.
Yeah.
At least you don't have that top knot anymore.
Oh, the man bun? You
Yeah.
didn't like the man bun
Yeah, no.
with shaved on the side? Yeah, my wife didn't either. So, but as you notice, yeah, I'm sneaky. We're going. It's coming
Is it
back.
coming back?
Yeah, it's flowing. Can't you tell?
How long would it take to get back?
Oh, maybe about a year.
Yeah.
But
All
we're
right.
already a few months in. You just can't really tell. See, it's a little under the radar. Anyway, we like taking it off the rails, but good to meet you, brother.
Good to meet you,
Go get
too.
yourself a red
All right.
lid.
Thank you
Enjoy
very
the
much.
fights, man.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We do enjoy getting off the rails a little bit.
Yeah.
What better city to do it in Miami? I can't say this enough. This is the third straight year that the UFC has been here, and I think it is a destination that time and time again they're rewarded for running the Kaseya Center. What is it about a Miami Fight Night that seems to make this a must-go-to destination year after year?
You know, I'm wondering what it was like when they didn't come here, because it feels like it's just sort of an always on the calendar. You hear people talk about Chicago and wanting to get back to Chicago, but it's hard to argue anything about Miami. And we've talked about it for 3 straight shows. Some of these other fight towns, and Miami continues to step up. I love talking about Boston, where I'm from, as a fight town. What is up, brother?
What's going on?
What's your name?
Joanne.
Joanne, welcome.
So, what do you think about the UFC fan experience?
It's pretty good. I like it. Everything's pretty organized. Everyone is very nice. You know, we get free drinks. Everything's pretty fine. You know,
Free drinks? Yeah, you look a little bit too young to consume adult beverages.
I'm talking about Monster and.
I got you. Energy drinks. Where are you from?
Colombia.
I knew I heard an accent. So, where do you live now?
Miami.
Cool. So, have you been to a fight before?
Never. I would like to.
You are not going this evening.
Nah.
Oh, see, we got to get some.
I'll try.
We should have a ticket giveaway next time. But anyway, but you're still here enjoying the experience.
Yes, sir.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Out of all, I'll say Pereira.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite fighter?
That's tough.
It's pretty tough. Yeah. I gotta say Topuria. I don't like his attitude.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't like Toporia's attitude. All right, at least you came with something. At least
You know
came
what,
with
though?
something.
When you have a least favorite fighter, that means you enjoy
His fights.
their fights because you want to see them lose. So you might like them more
You're
than
right.
you think. Yeah.
It's
all about heels.
All these dangerous guys, though, man. You got, I'm real tight-lipped. You got the balls to shout out at Topuria. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not me.
What's your sort of range of trivia? Like, what's your sweet spot?
To be honest, I'm pretty newbie. I'm like 3 years and a half watching UFC, you know, but Gary got like a very fan of it. But I don't know that much, but I'll say names, categories like
Recents.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, recents.
Let's go with the recent one. Another one? Recent.
It's pretty cool up here, right?
Yeah, not bad, right? Nice breeze, nice day. Still
All right.
see the cloud in the sky.
How's John?
John's good, man. John's good. Probably in the room, eating something, getting ready.
At first I'm like, is that John? I'm like, that looks like him. He told me, no, that's his twin, but I'm like, you joking. Like, you're joking with me.
Well, you know, last year at the Fan Expo at International Fight Week, they sent me around with a hat pretending to be John. I certainly could have done the same thing here today. Yeah, people can't tell. But, yep, got a little lettuce up top. Got one for him?
Who defeated Sugar Sean O'Malley to become the UFC Bantamweight champion?
That's Khabib. I forgot his name. Mirab.
Good job.
Mirab.
Khabib, I forgot his name, Marab, circle
Right.
gets a square.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll give it to him.
he arrived there.
Yeah,
You know, it's all about the destination. How about you give me a question?
Okay. Who fought John Jones? What was the John Jones fight? Who
Last
fought?
John Jones fight?
Yeah.
Stipe Miocic.
Let me ask you one. Who did John Jones defeat to win his first UFC championship?
Shogun.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be easy for you.
Who did John Jones make his UFC debut against?
Oh.
No one's going to get this. Sorry. There you go, Andre Guzman. UFC
Yeah, see,
87.
good. Yeah,
Seek and Destroy, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Headlined by George St. Pierre.
How old is John Jones?
Let's see.
37, 38?
Something like that.
Wow.
So did our boy win a hat here or what?
I think so. How
I'll try it.
old is John Jones?
You might get another live from ChatGPT.
Maybe.
He like 39 now.
So where are you going to watch the fights?
Home, you know, with my family. You know, celebrate my mom's birthday. So.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy
John
birthday.
Jones is 37 years old. Wow.
There we go. Well, good to see you, brother.
Well,
I think
thanks.
you earned a hat. Enjoy
Thank you,
it,
sir.
man.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
How many hats do we have left?
Where are you watching the fights?
In my hotel room. Probably
Peace and
falling
quiet?
asleep before the main event.
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
I think you got good rest last
I'm
night. I
tired.
think. Hey, what's up? You know, yeah, that one. You know, I'm glad you came up here because you were doing a lot of filming. I thought you were
Yeah.
filming for, but now you are here. Welcome up. What's your name?
Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Michelle.
Nice to meet you.
How's your afternoon been here at the Fan Experience?
It's been really fun. Yeah,
Do anything fun?
Yeah, we saw Tracy over there, got a picture, and then we went and punched the punching bag.
How'd
what
you do
was
on
your
that?
score?
low.
But you tried it, right?
I did, yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
See, the idea of doing that, I would look like such a buffoon that I couldn't subject myself
See,
to.
we talk about content. Again, that would be great content watching you hit that thing. And even me.
Are you sure I'd hit it?
Weak.
I might miss.
I think you'd hit it.
Some people missed, so it's
Yeah.
a possibility.
So you didn't miss. You said low, but
No,
you
yeah.
didn't miss.
Yeah, they asked me to do it at Peter Welch's gym when Callum Walsh was setting the record. I'm like, I cannot do that. Dana White is here. I'm not doing this in front of Dana White. What's your most anticipated fight of tonight's fight card?
Definitely Diego and Volk.
Are you a Diego fan or a Volk
Yeah,
fan?
Diego, yeah.
How do you think it ends?
Well, I got it from him, but he said second round, Diego gets him.
With what? Knockout, submission?
Knockout.
It really is so interesting, and we are in the prediction business, and we're always asking people what they think is going to happen. But gosh, man, that's why we love this sport, is because you just don't know, right? It's like a basketball game or a football game can be more predictable sometimes. MMA is just not like that, right? And,
No.
And that's why when you ask me, right, fight of the night, and I say Bryce Mitchell, Gene Silva, I wouldn't have answered it the same way 2 weeks ago, you know? And it's fluid, and it changes as time goes on. But for me, with Alexander Volkanovski, the theme for me is just how beloved he is in this fan base. Everybody loves Diego, the up-and-comer. But to a man, everybody loves Volk. And the idea of seeing Volk lose a third straight, I think a lot of people are fearful of that tonight.
No, absolutely. You want to do a trivia question for a hat?
Yeah, if it's really easy.
Okay. Let's see here. Which fighter tonight makes his UFC debut after being an established champion elsewhere?
Pitbull.
Good job.
Yeah,
She got it.
Yeah.
Didn't even need any help. What do you want another one? You want to try it?
Yeah. A little easier? Yeah,
A
sure.
little easier. All right. Easier. It's loading.
Or
All right,
we
here
could
we go.
just make her cut a promo. Nobody's cut a promo.
Hey.
Well, he cut a promo.
He
but
did kind of from him.
Rodrigo, it was pretty good.
All right.
Okay.
What country
Okay.
does Israel Adesanya originally hail from?
Like, are you asking like Nigeria, or are you saying like New Zealand?
What country is
Okay.
he originally from?
I like that question.
Nigeria.
It says Nigeria.
Okay.
Good job.
Yeah, good. Your first instinct
You
was
second
right.
guessed yourself. You're always supposed to go with your gut. You did good.
I
You
still got
earned
it.
a hat.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes.
Close us out on the right note.
Yay.
Are you going to the fights tonight?
We are.
Good. Have fun.
Yes.
Enjoy
Thank you.
it.
We
Where are you
will.
sitting?
Up top. Okay.
See,
that's
that's
okay.
that's actually the best seat in the house. I think like second deck, first row, you look straight ahead, you see like the screen over the octagon, and then you just look down and you can see on the floor.
Yep.
Well, I think of this sport, right, there's benefits from all sorts of different
Hmm.
seats, right? When I'm sitting super close, the athletes blow my mind. Do you know what I mean? Seeing a couple light heavyweights get out there at
Oh,
that
yeah.
speed and
Yeah.
size going at each other 10 feet away is incredible. Yeah, but the view of the octagon, I think there are a lot of spots that may be better than close.
That's
No matter
true.
what, you're going to end up watching the screen. Eventually, you're going to be looking up at the screen.
I hear you. Well, in broadcasting, you're really
I only look at
John's
the
looking at it
screen.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
Rogan watches the fights a lot, though.
You'll miss a tap if you're not looking at the screen all the time.
Well, and I guess
That's
you
true.
want to sort of
Better
discuss
angles,
what the
too.
audience is viewing, but
Yeah.
I'm watching the fights, baby.
There you go. Well, thanks for stopping
No,
by. I
thank
appreciate
you
it.
so
Enjoy
much.
it.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right. All right, we've got about 5 more minutes here on Extra Rounds, live from the UFC fan experience in Miami. Do you sit like right behind John? Where do you sit fight day?
No, I do. There's some seats there for the makeup people and the camera people and Rogan's people and DC's people and John's people, and I am John's person. And so, yeah, it's fun. Sit right there and Belly of the Beast tonight. I think there should be some special guests in attendance, so it should be a big night. But I tell you what, the back 4 fights on this main card, no disrespect to the light heavyweights, as a championship for the first time. I think the world is almost already his oyster, so I would say probably Diego Lopez. But I do believe that if John Silva can get through Bryce Mitchell like many believe he can, I still think there's some people that don't quite know how dangerous he is. And that Fighting Nerds team, there's so much momentum right now. We talked about it last night. A big part of it is continuing to win. So I think that's a big spot there. But But ultimately, I think, you know, you look at a guy like Michael Chandler, and we've talked about appearances versus wins or whatever may be next for him. But you look the other side, Paddy Pimblett, you are climbing to the top of the mountain. And if you don't get through Michael Chandler here, your next fight isn't against a guy like Oliveira chasing potentially a championship. It's probably a 2-year setback until you perhaps can realize an opportunity to compete for the belt. So a lot at stake as always.
Going back to that Silva and Mitchell matchup, do you know what the line is?
I can give it to you recently. Silva's favored. I think he was about a 2-1 favorite, but I might as well get you a current line now. John Silva minus 198. Yep. Bryce Mitchell coming back plus 164.
All right. So that'd be an upset if we see Mitchell get his hand raised. Probably the biggest upset in the main card.
Yeah, well, and you know, the Josh Emmett knockout is in a little bit of the rearview mirror now for Bryce Mitchell, and I don't know if you ever recover from something like that. Yeah, I can
but
see the look
it's
on your
interesting because like people said that Andrei Arlovsky's chin was dead 20 years ago, and then he comes back and has 3 different renaissances throughout his career.
Well, yeah, right.
You know?
He had a resurgence in Arlovsky in 2021. I think he won 4 straight at one point.
Yeah,
so.
It is very hard to sort of diagnose when an athlete is behind the 8 ball when it comes to their chin, especially in the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? So, all right, I think that's going to do it for us here live from Miami, UFC 314. It goes down tonight on pay-per-view. Alexander Volkanovski, he takes on Diego Lopez for the vacant UFC featherweight championship of the world. I'm excited for it.
Oh, I can't
really
wait.
am.
I'm buzzing.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Always a pleasure. For Jason Anik, I'm TJ DeSantis. We'll see you next time for more extra rounds here on UFC Fight Pass.